Hey guys, this is Spiritual at Heart Tarot and welcome back to another Pick a Card reading. Today we're taking a look at messages from your pets about themselves. So your pet wants you to know certain stuff about them. So I'm going to be the one to deliver you that message. Whether it is that your dog thinks he deserves more attention, your cat believes they are the queen of the castle, anything they want you to know about themselves, we're going to discuss that here. So, as you can see, we have 3 piles to pick from. We have pile number 1 with this little dog. Then we have pile 2 with the little piglet. And we have pile number 3 with the cow. There we go. So pick the pile you feel most drawn to and let's get to know your pet a little better. Hello, my lovely pile number 1. If you pick this little dog, this is going to be your reading. We're going to start out with taking a look at your dog or your pet. So what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle these and we'll get some pets. So they might look like this, they might not. But we'll get just a little bit of information about who this pet is. So the first one we have is this dog, which is, I think, a Vizsla or a Spaniel. But what we can see is that he's holding a frisbee. So maybe your pet is interested in frisbees, but they don't have to be. It's just, these are just some fun additions to the reading, just to get some more information. They could give you some information about your pet. They might not be for you. We also have this poodle, which might indicate that you have a poodle or a doodle. Also, it has a little bow tie, so maybe your pet likes to wear a bow tie, or there is something about a bow that's significant. So we'll start with these two and we'll just take some more cards to get some more information about your pet. Keep in mind, they don't have to look exactly like this. I just thought it would be a fun addition to the reading. Now we're digging into their personality a little bit more. So for pile 1, what can you tell us about pile 1's pet when it comes to their personality? So the 2 cards that we got are Be Dazzling. So they might be dazzling. They like to flaunt their stuff. They're very proud of who they are. They might have quite a big ego, is what I'm sensing. And we also have this little crab with Be Tenacious. So they could be very tenacious. Also with the crab, I feel like they could be like nipping a little bit, like trying to bite your heels or trying to nip you somewhere just to tease you, or maybe they're just very young still and they still like to chew or bite on everything. Take that as it resonates. I could also see this being like a little snake nipping or biting, right? Let's see if there is anything else, because we like to get some more cards. And this is not all we're going to do when it comes to their personality. We're going to get more later on. We also have the bee with Be Busy. Also, the bee stings. So again, something about stinging, something about biting, about pinching could definitely be significant. Again, the peacock is someone that, like, how do you say that? How do they like prick you? I'm not sure what it's called. I think you know what I mean. Like they're taking up their granules from the floor, but they could also do that like to you, attacking you a little bit. So this could be a chicken or a peacock. But with Be Busy, I do get that this is a very active animal, an active breed. Like this could be a cat that's very active, like a Bengal or something. When it's about dogs, it could be a Vizsla or a Rhodesian Ridgeback or something like that. If this is a horse, this could be like an Arabian or a thoroughbred. But like I said, there are a lot of different personalities possible. Now let's move on to some archetype cards. So with these cards, usually they are about people, not about pets. So we're gonna see how we're gonna interpret them. We might need to read them a little bit differently than we do when it's about people. But like, I just want the ins and out of your pet. I just want to know everything about them. Maybe you will find out new things about them. Especially if you recently got them, you might need to get to know them a little bit more. And that will happen over time. Let's see if I can do that again. So with these, they have an upright meaning and a reversal. So I think I am actually going to take the reversals. So we'll see what comes out. So pet of pile 1, what can you tell us about yourself? Okay, so it is upright. We have the dilettante, and it says, delights in the art without having to be a professional. Alerts you to danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So maybe they actually help you become less superficial in what you do. They help you enjoy what you do other than letting you focus just on the superficial things about things. I could definitely see this pet being just someone that alerts you, like barking a lot or giving you another sign. For example, like I said, the pricking or the stinging or the biting or the pinching, something about that. Let's see what else. So yeah, they help you to just have fun. That's something that they do. But we'll see if there is anything else that comes through. Is there anything else you can tell us about yourself? There we go. Ooh, yeah. We have the rebel. So they are little rebels. They might actually be called rebel, or they are a little bit of a challenging animal. Like I said, they might bite, they might sting, they might pick. I could also see them kicking, for example. So they are not the easiest to handle. That's what I'm seeing here. And they say the message here is they challenge authority to affect social change. They reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So most of all, they challenge your authority. They challenge you. So I do think that they can teach you a lot through their challenging behavior, but you might get a little bit annoyed with them every now and then. I think I'm going to get one more before we head into the next part, or the next cards, or the next deck. So can we get one more? Can we get one more card to get a little bit more information about who you are, your character, or just the way that you behave? Anything else you want to tell us about yourself, you little rebel? Maybe that's it. I think that's all they had to say about themselves. Yeah. So we'll move on to the next part. I'm gonna ask about your connection, your relationship with them. So this is going to be more of how they feel about you. If they like you, if there's something else going on, we'll have to see, right? Usually I use this deck for love readings, but again, with pets, we also have a very close relationship, so I do think it's very fitting. So can you tell us a little bit about your connection with your owner or the person that's watching this reading? So this might not even be your animal, but it might just be an animal that's close to your heart. So what is your connection like, in your opinion, for pile 1? Can you tell us what your connection is like? What's your connection like? How do you see this connection? They might be a little bit hesitant. It's taken quite a while before the card comes out. Okay, so the card we have is Focus. So you might be spending a lot of time on them. You're really focusing on them. Maybe you might be training them, working with them. I do feel like they know they are the center of your attention. Maybe you are training them to focus on you, especially them looking at you. For example, with dogs, I know there is like, when you start working with them, the first thing you do is like learning them to look at you, giving them your attention. So maybe that might be something significant. But I do think they know that you care about them and that like you want to help them. But they definitely feel like some pressure with this focus. I sense some kind of pressure of needing to do right, needing to do better. Yeah. We also have connection. So you might be working with them on your connection. Getting closer to them, working with them, improving the connection. Which I guess that it makes sense that you'll watch a reading about this animal if you feel like you are really training with them and you're not sure if you're getting any growth, or you feel like it's not doing much. There is not a lot happening yet. But let's move on to the next part. So for the next part, I was kind of leaving it open to what this is going to be about. And I feel for you guys that it might be nice to know if there's anything that you can do that will help this connection. If there is anything specifically that might be helpful when it comes to connecting with them, reaching out to them. Oops. Oh dear. I messed it up. And that might be fitting, them messing up sometimes. But like I said, they might still be very young. I did get that energy. So, pet or animal of pile 1. Is there anything that pile 1 can do to help establish this connection, make this connection grow stronger? Let us know, please. What can they do? What can they do? Okay, thank you. So for the message of what you can do, we have the Ace of Pentacles with this little frog. The frog always reminds me of taking a leap of faith, jumping in. So maybe there is a need to just give them one more try, or give it a try. Also, with this Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles is something material. I'm literally getting like giving them treats, like working with food, working with something they enjoy, like also a ball, because again, the pentacle is round and it's also something physical, like a ball, treats, something they really enjoy, that could really help you like get further, taking those big jumps instead of like moving very slowly. So what kind, it doesn't really matter what kind of animal this is, but a ball, treats, like I feel like you could win them over by bribing them is the message I'm hearing. So I hope that resonates. Something I also want to ask is what they regret, because I do feel like they are quite difficult to handle. So there might be something that they kind of feel bad about. And that's just something I'm sensing. It might not be for you, but I feel like for most of you, there is something that might have happened in the past or in general. So I want to see if there is something they regret. We have the Eight of Cups with this squid. So the Eight of Cups talks about leaving behind a certain thing and moving away from that, like leaving with a heavy heart. So it could indicate that you had to leave them, like they regret that you had to leave them, or they regret leaving you behind. Maybe walking away from the emotions that you had. Like maybe they sought distance after you were having a little moment. I'm sorry, I'm having a cold, so sometimes my speech is a little bit troubled. But yeah, there is something about walking away from feelings, just walking away from a difficult situation in general. So maybe they feel sorry about making it so difficult that you had to, or that you are contemplating leaving them. But again, this might not be for everybody, but I do feel like they are a lot of work. That's what I'm sensing when it comes to this reading. So it wouldn't surprise me if you were contemplating maybe leaving them at a trainer, just maybe contemplating on giving up on them, although I don't think that's something anybody would be proud of. But yeah, they do seem like, I mean, I wouldn't really blame you, and they wouldn't even blame you either. But I do think that they want to have a second chance. I do think that they want this connection. They want to be a better pet. But yeah, let's see if there is anything else. Any other questions that come up that I feel like we could answer? Let's see. Yeah, what's in the future for you guys? What do you feel like is in the future for this connection? So what are you hoping that this connection will turn into? Page of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So the Page of Pentacles is a very young energy that is hopeful, that is slowly growing. They are learning through experience. Maybe they are investing money into growth, like they are a student that goes to college or that reads a book. But I feel for you guys that you will learn through experience. We also have this, I think it's, what's it called in English? I lost its name. Grasshopper. So again, we're seeing an animal that jumps, that's making jumps. And with this squid, it's actually like going down. Like, for example, it could indicate like feeling like you're moving backwards or feeling like you've lost progression. So I think that for your future, because this card is reversed, I feel like it's going to be more so about learning through experience with them. And you'll actually start making some improvements when it comes to coaching them, training them, working with them. But I think it's going to be more so experience and not really about like what should work, but like just learning how they work and work with them. I might want to get a clarifier for this one. Can we get a clarifier, please? Thank you. We have the Seven of Wands with this very special kind of animal. I might want to get the guidebook and read what it says, because I'm actually curious about what animal this is. I forgot about it. Let me look it up. Okay, so I got out the guidebook and we have the Seven of Wands, and it was upright. So we have the meaning of perseverance, competition, and resistance. So it is a matter of perseverance. We know that. But let's see what it has to say. So it's a tardigrade. It wraps itself around 7 stalks of seaweed, ready to weather anything that comes its way. Tardigrades are some of the hardiest organisms on the planet. They can be found on top of mountains, at the bottom of the ocean, in lakes, in stone, in pretty much any environment on the planet, and even off it. The Seven of Wands reminds us to channel the tardigrade's hardiness. Though you are surrounded by different obstacles and trials, you will overcome. You're stronger than your troubles and can endure. When upright, the Seven of Wands suggests that you've accomplished something worthy of recognition. but once all eyes are turned to you, there's a high possibility that there will be naysayers and critics waiting for the chance to say their piece. So what I'm getting here is that you have to do it your way to make this work. You have to persevere. It's not going to be easy, but I do think that you can win this pet over. This could be like a pet that you adopted or something, so like a pet with a difficult background. But I definitely see you gaining a lot of experience and actually winning them over in the long term. So that were the messages when it comes to the tarot. Let's move on to some oracle cards, or just more oracle cards. I'm going to start out with some tea leaves. I'm going to do this in 3 because they are just too big otherwise to handle them smoothly. Okay. So that's our first 2. Okay, yeah, I love that. So the first one we have is involvement with the law. So they might have had involvement with the law, like they might have been taken away out of a difficult situation, like law enforcement took them away from their previous owner, or they might have caused so much trouble that they might have given you some involvement with the law. With the gavel as well, like they might have been hit in the past. Take it as it resonates. So that is the first message I'm seeing here. Let me see where I'm going to put it. I think I'm going to put it here. We also have a rainbow with the most difficult part of a situation is over. So when it comes to them, training them, working with them, it's only going to get easier. It's going to get better. It's going to improve, just like we saw with the 7 of Wands as well. Keep in mind that you're doing your best and you're doing it your way. But it's going to get better. Please don't give up on them is the message that I'm sensing. So let's see if there are any other messages. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, so we have 2 more. I'm going to start with this one. We have heart with love, deep affection, and caring. I think that they admire your kind heart. They admire that you have been so nice to them, and that you are so caring about them. This could also indicate that they are opening up their heart to you. They are really trying their best. They're trying to make it work. They're trying to be better. Anything like that. And we have a bat. Let me see. Take care. Enemies are working against you. So what I'm getting with this one is, again, with the involvement with the law. It might be that someone is making a call to the police about them. Maybe there are people that think that your pet is dangerous, which again, it looks to me like they are a work in progress. I don't think they're malicious or anything like that. But with the bat here, I do think that there might be people that think they are a danger. They might be overprotective. They might be crazy. I don't know. But take this one as it resonates. It might not be for everybody. I think that there are just different degrees in how severe the case of this pet is. But yeah, there might be some people that don't like this pet, or that don't like this pet being around their pets, something like that. Take it as it resonates. We'll move on to the last third of this deck to see if there's anything else they want to say about stuff like that. If there is anything else. No, I think that's it. So we'll move on to the last deck. This is the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. So let's see if there is anything else. By the way, this is a general reading. I think you guys know that. But some of the messages might not be for you because it's a general reading. If you want, you can always get your personal reading on my website. I also offer pet readings. So if you have any issues with your pet and you want to get into like the whys and the hows and anything like that, you might want to check that out. Use the code YouTube10 to get 10% off if you want. Because I do feel like I could definitely help getting into the nitty-gritty with you guys, if you're open to that. But let's see if there are any last messages that your pet has for you. Any advice, any guidance. Let's see. So, pet of pile 1, what do you have to say? So we have brown bear spirit with the number 9. Take time out. So with the number 9, or no, not necessarily with the number 9. The 9 is an end of a cycle, so maybe that is significant. Like you're almost at an end of a cycle. Take time out. You might have taken some time out. Maybe you needed a break from your pet or working with your pet. Like you threw in the towel, you needed to give up. Especially with that 8 of Cups, that could make sense. They could connect. Like this could also be about like in the winter. Some do like that winter sleep. I'm not sure how your hibernation. It might be significant in some kind of way. Like you might need to take some time out when it comes to them. Also, the brown bear in general is a dangerous, scary animal. So I do feel like some other people might see your pet as big, scary, and dangerous. Not necessarily big, but definitely like you need to be careful with them. So maybe that resonates for you guys. Also, they might actually look like a little bit like this bear, like they look very fluffy, and they have very thick coats. Take it as it resonates. Let's get one more. Thank you. So again, the frog. We have 2 frogs now, which must be significant in some kind of way. So we have the number 28, which might be significant. Also, the number 28 adds up to a 10. So the 10 adds up to a 1 again. So there is a fresh start that might be happening soon or that you are going to have. And we have clear out the clutter. So I do think that it might be important for you to focus on the main problem. Focus on the thing that stands out. Let go of all the other little things that might still not working, anything like that. Focus on the main problem and just go from there. You can't do everything at once. Focus on one thing first. Also, I told you guys with the ball or the treat or anything like that, we have another drop here, another ball. So another emphasis on a ball, on a treat, on something physical that they want to have that is interesting to them. But yeah, it's very important that you get clear about what is the most important thing to achieve and start working on that, and just let all the other things, just let them be for now. You can't do everything at once. Let's get one more to end off this reading. So can we get one more message for your lovely pile number 1, your very kind owner or friend? Let's take a look. There we go. The last one we have is Dragonfly Spirit with Truth Transcends Illusion, which is beautiful. And we have the number 22. So 22 might be significant. The number 2 is all about soul connections, deep connections. And we have it twice. Also, it adds up to a 4, which is all about stability. So I do think that you will have a stable foundation to work off of. Also with Truth Transcends Illusion, like the truth of their character, the truth of who they are will come through as you work with them. It might just need to take some time. And I feel like the illusion part is how other people see this pet. I do think that you see who they are, you see the potential that they have, and unfortunately a lot of people don't see that in them. They just see that scary face, the pet that bites, the pet that stings, the pet that kicks, anything like that. But I think that through time, through working with them, other people will start to see that truth that you see in them too. They will actually see their heart. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this resonated. Like I said, if you'd like a personal reading about this pet, you can get one on my website. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a like and let me know in the comments what you think of it. I am trying to do tarot readings full time, but unfortunately I'm not making enough yet. So you could really help me out by giving a like, commenting, watching my ads, anything like that, or getting a personal reading. So you can actually get something in return as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this gave you some clarity, some comfort, just knowingness that everything's going to be all right, that you're going to succeed in taming this animal. But yeah, have a great day. And when the time is right, you'll probably be able to give them a big hug as well. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next readings. Bye, guys. Hello, my lovely pile number 2. If you chose the piglet, this is going to be your reading on your pet. We're going to take a look at them, what they're thinking, what they're doing, what their character is like, anything like that. So let's take a look. So I'm going to start out with these. These ones are more for fun, so they might give you a clue of what they might look like. But I do think there are only dogs and cats in this thing. So just take them as they resonate. There might be a little attribute that they're wearing that might be significant. The color, we'll have to see. So pet 2, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Can you tell us something about you? Anything we need to know? So let me start with saying that this piglets in general are associated with being overweight. So your pet might be a little overweight, or they might just really like their food. But let's see if there is anything else that comes through, because I guess I'm just stating the obvious. Let's see. Can you tell us something about yourself? Anything? Okay, there we go. So we have 2, and we actually have a dog and a cat. So it could be both, either one of them. It could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be something completely different. So we have a little Shih Tzu with a bow tie and a little, I'm not sure what it's called, this thing. So they might have white long hair. You might like to put a bow tie in their hair, something like that. They could be very small. That's why we have this little dog. And we also have this cat actually scratching or trying to grab something. So you might have a tabby cat or just a cat in general. It might be that they have this collar. You might have a dog that has this collar, or a different kind of animal that has this striping pattern. Like I said, these are more for fun. Take them as they resonate. Now we're moving on to the first actual oracle deck. This deck has some characteristics. It's actually an animal mantra deck. So let's see if there's anything that comes out. I'm sorry. So let's see. So what can you tell us about yourself? I did feel like they were a little shy, but that's more so a feeling. So it could be right, it could be wrong. I don't always trust the things that I'm just feeling, because I prefer to see the cards confirming. But let's see. There we go. I feel like it's just the top one. So I'm just going to shuffle again to see if there's anything else. Okay, thank you. So we have 2. I think I want 3. I did get 3 in the first pile, so we want to match that at least. Can I get 1 more? Thank you. So it flipped. Here we go. So we have be savvy. So they might be a little bit of a badass. Again, we have the badger with some striping. So again, stripes, we saw it with the cat as well, might be significant. The blue cards indicate the throat chakra, so they might be very vocal. They might make a lot of noise. We also have be heard, so we have another blue card, another one about the throat chakra. So again, they might be loud. They like to be heard. Maybe they just keep on making noises until you take a look at them, you listen to them. I get like the idea of a very sharp or loud bark. Maybe they bark a lot or they meow a lot until they get their food, they get what they want. And the last one we have is a walrus. I think that's what you call them in English as well, with be astute. I don't know what that means. So I'm going to get the guidebook out to take a look at what that means. Give me a second. Okay, so I found it. This is the guidebook. I think it's very cute. So it says, be astute. Both male and female walruses have long tusks that they use to get around on the ice with. They are also used to breaking up glaciers that may be obstructing the way, to poke holes in the ice, to breathe, and to haul their incredibly heavy physique out of the cold water and onto a floating iceberg. Walrus are distinguished and look quite proud and stately. They have long, sensitive whiskers, like cats, that help them find their food off the seafloor. They are very social and often talk to one another with their charming bellows. The walrus has a thick coat of blubber that keeps them cozy in the below freezing temperatures, below freezing temperatures, and also enables them to slow down their heartbeat in order to withstand the Arctic climate of the frozen waters. Oh my gosh. So I'm getting a few things. First of all, the blubber. Clearly, they might be a little bit overweight, right? Or it might give the idea of them being overweight. Also, sensitive whiskers. So your pet might have some sensitive whiskers. And then we have the charming bellows. Also, very vocal. So we have these three things here already. So let's continue with the energy of a walrus. Reminds us that you need not look further than your own earthly body in all its imperfections to give you what you need. No matter how imperfect you think you are, and stand tall with the confidence you are everything you should be. Use those whiskers as your sensors of those enormous tusks to break free any barriers in your way. So they might still, although they might not be perfect, they are perfectly imperfect. They are proud of who they are. Maybe they are also very self-reliant, like they don't really need you to take care of them or you to give them a lot of attention. They're perfectly happy just doing their own thing. And we can also see them breaking barriers in their own way. So they can get a lot of things done. I could see this being a cat opening the cupboards, getting their own food, or a dog opening their own door so they can go wherever they want to go. Like a dog holding their own leash, taking themselves for a walk. Stuff like that. Okay, so next up, we're moving on to some archetype cards. These are usually used for humans, so we might need to interpret them a little bit differently. But I'll tell you guys what I'm getting from these cards. And you might get other messages yourself, so take the ones that resonate. Let's see. So these do have upright and reversal meanings. I am going to take both. No, I'm not going to take both. If they are upright, I'm going to take them upright. If they are reversed, we're going to take them reversed. So for pile 2, can you tell us more about yourself? Pet of pile 2 or pet that pile 2 is involved with. They hang out with. I don't know how you say that. So what can you tell us about yourself? Is there anything else you want to tell us about yourself? That's a little bit too much. I'm going to take this one, but I'm going to leave these. We're just going to shuffle again to see if there is another one that needed to come out. So is there another one that we need to take a look at when it comes to your personality? Anything else? we need to know about you? Anything else? They're taking their sweet time. Maybe that's what I was getting at. Not literally shy, but more so just on their own time. They might not be very fast, but they just get things done their way. Okay, thank you. I think it wanted to come out reversed. So we are going to take it reversed. So we have a warrior. And we have trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. So yeah, this seems like a pet that really cares about themselves. And they're not very ethical. So they just want to get what they want, regardless of how difficult they are to you. Which, for a human, that's not very kind. But it makes sense when it comes to a pet. Especially like cats. Like, they'll just meow and be annoying until you give them a treat. They don't care that they're being obnoxious to you. They just care about getting their own treat. And I think that that's the energy that they're giving off. Like, they're just gonna get what they want. And they're not gonna give up until they get what they want. They want to be heard. And that blends well with that savvy card as well. That's so funny. So let's take a look at the other one. Oh, it's also reversed. So we have a rebel with rejects legitimate authority out of anger. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So they reject your authority. They don't care about your opinion, to be truthful. They just do their own thing. And I think that this is a pet. I bet this is a cat or a dog that is not being trained, or you're not trying to train them. You're not trying to do anything with them. They just live in your house, or they just live in your neighborhood. They just do their own thing. This could definitely be like a street cat that you see every now and then outside. Like they just come to you when they please. Maybe they come for a treat. Maybe they come for some petting, but only if they want that. They are a free spirit. They don't want to be contained. They don't want to listen. They just do their own thing. That's so funny. But let's take a look at your connection. So we're moving on to the next oracle deck. I usually use this for love readings. But of course, it could apply to any kind of connection. So we're going to see at how they see your connection. Whether they really love you, whether they tolerate you. Okay, there we go. So we have confusion. So they are a little bit confused about the connection that they have with you. So this could indicate that they might just not be used to a connection like that your type of connection with them is very different than they're used to. Maybe you are very hot and cold about them, or maybe one time you get upset and the other time you're just like, yeah, you do whatever. Maybe they just aren't very intelligent and they just don't understand what's going on. Maybe they are just so self-centered that everybody else is just like extra. They don't really care about all the other things happening around them. So they just cannot place whatever is happening between the two of you. It might have been like a little bit of a search to find this connection. Maybe you're still looking for ways to connect with them. But yeah, like I said, they are confused about you. Maybe they're just wondering, like, why is this person interested in me? Like, why are they giving me food? Or why are they might just have a lot of questions. I think that's the case. Like, why aren't they just giving me what I want? Or why are they demanding attention from me? Or why do they want to cuddle me? Or why? Something like that. But it might be different for everybody, so take the one that resonates for you. Next up, we're digging into tarot. I forgot what I asked in the previous pile. And I kind of feel like it's better to just go with the flow of what we need from them. Okay, I think it might be fun to take a look at what you can do to connect with them better or deeper, or like what's the best way to reach out to them. If you want to connect with them more, like what do they expect from you, or what would they like from you? So let's see if there is anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a lot to say. So we have the Six of Pentacles reversed, which is very funny. I'm going to explain it in a second, but I want to take a look at the other card first. So we have the Sun, and I think it came out reversed as well. So let's start with the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a card of balance, of give and take, of a reciprocal connection. And it's reversed. So I think that they want you to know that this connection is never going to be balanced. It's never going to be like they love you as much as you love them. And I do think for most of you kind of know that. Like they are very independent. And they are okay with you giving them love sometimes on their terms. But you cannot expect them to make this big change where they completely become dependable on you, love pets, love cuddles, anything like that. I think that's what they want to say. Like, this relationship will benefit from you realizing that it might be a little bit of a one-way street. And if they're up to it, like, it might get a little bit of a both way sometimes. With the Sun in reverse, I'm getting two different things. It might be that they don't like very bright lights. They are not very into like hot weather. Maybe that is significant. Like, you might want to get them out of the sun, or you might want to take them inside, or maybe just the nighttime might be significant. But also the Sun is all about clarity, and it's reversed. So I think that the message here is that you might never be able to understand them fully. Like, you might always have questions. You might always stay unsure about where you stand when it comes to them, or what you mean to them. Yeah, I guess they kind of stay mysterious when it comes to that, or they are as confused as you are. It might change, but I do feel like most of all, it's important that you just, like, how do you say that? Realize that this is the situation how it is how it is, and not trying to change them too much, not trying to force things on them, kind of going with the flow, letting them be, not trying to understand them, but maybe more so trying to read them, read their signals. I guess, yeah, maybe there are different interpretations, but I'm not fully sure. So let's take a look at what they are sorry about. Is there anything that they regret, or that they feel sorry about, or that they... Okay. So we have Strength in reverse, and we have the King of Swords. So we do have a lot of masculine energy. So this might be a male pet, a dog, a cat, a horse, could be anything. A wild stallion could be, I guess. What they regret is softening up sometimes, I guess, with Strength in reverse. Like, it could be that they regret, like, always having a brave face on, not opening up to you more. But that wouldn't be very in line with the messages that we have been getting. So I think it would be more so like They do feel bad about being harsh, being mean, lashing out with the knight, with the King of Swords reversed. Like the King of Swords is very intelligent. They rule. They are very in their power. They're very wise. They communicate clearly. But when it's imbalanced, they could just use harsh words. They could be mean. So maybe they do regret like being mean sometimes. Like there might have not been a reason to be mean, but they were mean regardless. Like that's what they're sorry about. Like we also with the Strength in reverse, like maybe they see you as a little bit of a weaker person. I don't know. I don't want to be mean. Let me take a second and reflect on this one. By the way, I have to show them like this. Let me read the Strength reverse card. I'm gonna take the book out and read that. There we go. So it is a major arcana. Let's see where it is. Strength. So it is self-doubt, weakness, and reactionary. So maybe they are making you doubt yourself or seeing yourself as weak, or maybe they have reacted out of frustration with you and they didn't want to react that way. Here, when reversed, this card suggests you've lost touch with your inner strength. Doubt has taken its toll on your confidence, and you may be finding it hard to commit to a course of action when you aren't sure what it might lead to. Take time to get back in touch with yourself. Understand what has given rise to these feelings of doubt and take steps to bolster your energy levels until you regain what was lost. This position can also imply that you've become prone to outbursts and leaping without looking. Try to conquer these feelings before you end up doing or saying something you will regret. So, to me, this might indicate that, I'm sorry, I hope you can read that too. Maybe you just given up on trying to pet them or trying to connect with them. Maybe they feel sorry about that, like making you unsure of your actions. Like you just feel like you have to leave your pet alone and just let them be, because otherwise they might like lash out. Like you might have gotten a little bit fearful of them. Maybe that's what they're regretting. Like they never meant to be mean. They just prefer to be doing their own thing. I guess that's the message here. Yeah. So there might be more messages here that I'm just not seeing. But I want to move on to tea leaves regardless. Maybe this can give us a little bit more information about the situation. So we have kite with a vacation. So this might be a pet that you are pet sitting for, or this might be you needing a vacation or something like that, like needing some time off, which is similar to pile 1, by the way. Let's see, I'm gonna put it here. So there might, you might be pet sitting this pet, or you might doubt going on vacation because they are a little bit of a difficult pet and you're not sure if you should let other people take care of them. Maybe that's why they are confused. Like they don't understand that you have been on a holiday and you have been away because of that. And that's why they are acting up a little bit. Yeah, I think that could be. We also have teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. So they might have a very deep friendship with another animal. Like they might be good friends with another dog in the dog park, or they might be good friends with another cat that you have at home. You might have multiple pets. And maybe that causes some frustration within you as well. Like, why can they get along with this other pet, but they cannot get along with me? Or it seems like they don't like me, but they do like this other pet person, whatever it is. If that doesn't resonate, just let that one go. It might not be for everybody. So that's part 1 of these cards. Let's go to the second part if there is anything else. We also have mountain, major challenge to overcome. So yeah, there might be a challenge when it comes to this pet that you need to overcome. For example, they might be confused because you have moved recently. I'm getting that for a few of you, especially with vacation. Like, they might be like, am I moving to a different place? Am I going on vacation? Are you giving me away? Is there something going on? Maybe they find this situation very challenging. They are a little bit confused, again, with the confusion. Is there anything else? Okay. We also have happiness. So I do think that they are content. I do think that they are happy living with you. I don't think that they blame you for anything or that they think that you are in the way of their happiness. I just think that they are very self-focused. Let's see if there is anything else. We also have staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. So I think more so this is going to be about them, that you have been taking care of them in a difficult time. I could also see this being a pet that you have taken in that was from someone else, like someone passed away and you took this pet in, and they are just being very difficult because they are confused about what's going on, waiting for their owner to return or something like that. Are they on a vacation? Are they ever coming back? What's going on? But I do think that they see that you're trying your best with them. Okay, so that was the last message when it comes to the tea leaves. I am going to end this reading off with some Spirit Animal Oracle cards. By the way, I don't know if I've said this already, because this is a general reading. It's not as personal as a personal reading. If you want a personal reading, you can get one on my website using YouTube 10, all capital letters, to get 10% off. If you are interested in getting to know your pet better or this pet better, wondering what's going on or how to deal with them. But let's see if they have any advice or any messages for you. So, pet of pile 2. Is there anything you have to say, any advice for pile 2? Oh dear. So again, a lot of cards falling out. So I do get the message that they are quite vocal. We have Starfish Spirit with open to infinite possibility. So this could indicate that they might just need some time to open up. They need to open up to the possibility of this being their forever home, or this being the situation now. They might just need some time to acclimate. Let's see if there is anything else. The number 59 might be significant. The 59 adds up to a 14, which adds up to a 5 numerologically. And the number 5 is all about change. So there might have recently been a big change in their life, and that's why they are acting out, feeling confused, frustrated, anything like that. Again, way too many cards falling out, so I am gonna try that again. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? I could also, with the starfish and the sun, it's like they moved to a way warmer climate, for example. Like maybe they are not used to that. That's kind of confusing. We also have Dolphin Spirit with this and that are true. So we have the number 20. That might be significant. This and that are true. So there might be, you might see things differently from them, but it doesn't mean that you are wrong. And I'm hearing a lot of sirens, so that could actually indicate like something big happened, like someone got hurt. There might have been an unexpected death or an expected death, whatever it is. But this and that are true. So maybe other people have a different opinion on how things are going, what's going on. Doesn't mean they're wrong. They just have a different viewpoint. Take that one as it resonates. I'm not fully sure how to interpret them. Again, I am also getting that confusion that they have. I'm less sure of the things that I'm reading. It's a little bit more confusing. I got 2 more cards. Oh, it's 3. I'm just going to take the top and the bottom one to end off this reading. So we also have a dragonfly spirit with the number 22 with truth transcends illusion. So know that they will, with time, find out the truth of the situation, as in they will realize what's going on. They will understand what's going on. That might actually cause some change. Just give them time is what I'm feeling. Maybe you will find the truth of the situation with time. And we also have dog spirit with be loyal to what you love. So I do think they can become a very loyal companion. They can become quite loyal. I think that they care about who they care about. If you are within their inner circle, they can be very friendly and caring. But that might take time to get there. It might take some time for them to open up to you. And as we saw with these cards here, like, don't push them, don't force anything, let them come to you. It might be a little bit of a one-way street. Just give them some love, but don't force them into it or anything like that. So that brings me to the end of the reading. I must say this one was a little bit more confusing, less clear than the previous one. I hope it resonates. Let me know in the comments. If you feel the need for a personal reading, you can check out my website. I also have other readings like this on my YouTube channel, so you might want to check those out as well. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys. Hello, my lovely pile number 3. If you picked the cow, this is going to be your reading. To start out with, I guess I'm stating the obvious. Your pet might have spots, or they might have horns, or they might be a ruminant of some sort. So they might be a cow, a deer, a goat, a sheep, something like that. They don't have to be. They might just eat grass. Like some dogs eat grass when they get sick, stuff like that. That might be the case. Maybe that's why we have the cow. But we'll move on to some of these cards. I wanted to add these just for fun. They might give us a little bit more information about your pet. But don't take these too seriously. Like I said, I just thought it might be a fun addition. So this might tell us a little bit about what they look like, what they like, anything like that. Okay. Okay, so we have that one. We also got this one in pile 2, so you might be drawn to pile 2 as well. Anything else? Anything else? So it might be a small dog, a white dog, might be a Shih Tzu, might be a Maltese. Okay, you guys actually got 3, but that's okay. We also have a Doberman. So this might be a Pinscher, a Doberman, maybe a Rottweiler, or just a dog that is black and tan might be significant. Also, this dog is wearing sunglasses or normal glasses, which might tell us that they might have bad eyesight, or that they think that they're very cool. We also have the bow tie on the Maltese looking dog, so maybe that is significant. And we also have this cat with a jacket on, so your pet might like to have a jacket on. They might be gray. They might like to wear hats. You might like to dress your pet up. Take them as they resonate. I'm gonna do it like this. So next up, we're gonna get into some Animantras. These are little oracle cards that can give us some information about their personality. Let's see. They are quite little and hard to shuffle, but I think that they are very cute. So let's take a look. Is there anything you can tell us about yourself for pile 3? Anything you like to tell about yourself, your personality, stuff like that. Anything you want to tell us? That's one. Anything else? Anything else? Oh, like I said, these little cards are a little bit harder. Oh, there we go. So we already have two. Yeah, two. I kind of want three, so I'm gonna shuffle it one more time. Although we have had three of the other ones, so maybe I'm just gonna leave it at two and get the archetype cards later on to see. I guess we'll take these two. So let's take a look. The first one we have is a rooster with be heard. So they might be quite loud. They might bark very loud. They might be like a bird that like is very noisy, like a parrot or something like that. They like to be heard. They like to be loud. We also have this duck with be elegant. So yes, this might be a very colorful pet, very dainty. I could also see that with the Maltese. Like they are those very cutesy, very elegant, very fancy kind of pets. Maybe they don't look like that, but they feel very fancy. Like they think of themselves as being that type of animal. We also have, be grand. So they might literally be big, but I also feel like they are grand. Like they make a big impression. People look at them. They think that they're amazing. They're overconfident, I feel, for some of you. And the last one we have is be creative. So they might be very creative. They might find creative ways to do things. They might act like in very unexpected ways, but they get the things done that they want to get done. Let me see if I can find out, like think of an example. What I think of is like a dog that needs to lie down. Some dogs lie down like very smoothly and others just fall over. Like maybe it's something like that. Like they find creative ways to do things. Like they just do things differently. But take that one as it resonates, because it might be different for everybody. I could also see this being a pet that communicates through buttons, for example, or they might be interested in doing that. I feel like they are quite witty, like they find creative ways to do things, or they might find creative ways to get what they want. Let's move on to the archetype cards. For these archetype cards, I am going to read the reversals because there is a reversal meaning to them. So I'm very curious to see what they have to say. This deck is a deck that we use for people. So sometimes we need to interpret this one a little bit differently, but I will tell you guys what I'm seeing. Let's see. There we go. So what can you tell us about yourself for pile 3? What can you tell us about yourself? I'm feeling a little bit clumsy with your pile, so maybe they are a little bit clumsy, or maybe like I could see this being like a Great Dane. Like just by their size, they just become a little clumsy. Okay, so we have the scribe reversed, which altering facts and or plagiarizing others' work. So with this, I'm kind of getting that they imitate another pet, or they imitate you, or they so it's nothing negative, but I just feel like they are a little bit of a copycat. Monkey see, monkey do. And maybe that's what this creative is about. Like for example, this could be a dog that's raised in a house where they have a lot of cats. and they start doing similar things that the cats are doing, although it makes no sense for a dog to do that. Like, maybe that's what this is about. Or maybe you have another dog, like there are two dogs, and the older dog does certain things, and this little dog is trying to copy them. This could be the same with cats, with horses, with any type of animal, actually. Oh, and we also have the dilettante, and it's upright this time. So let's read what it has to say. So it says, delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alert you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So we actually got this one in one of the other piles as well. I think it was pile 1. But we also have more about creativity. So this might be about you, like you might be creative, but you are getting lost in needing to see end results instead of having fun. Like they are trying to get you out of that rut. They're trying to get you out of that hyperfixation on it needing to be perfect. But I could also just see this pet being a pet that alerts you to danger in general, especially with this dog being here as well. And I feel like they are a pet that just likes to have fun. They don't have to be the best in anything. So this is very specific. There might be a dog that is in training to become a guide dog or like a police dog or anything like that. And they're like, well, I'm just having fun. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be the best police dog in the world. I just need to function. I just need to do the thing. It doesn't matter how I'm doing it, as long as I'm doing it, right? It doesn't matter if I'm like 2 seconds slower. I'm doing the thing, right? Don't. Yeah. That's the kind of energy that I'm sensing. So again, that might resonate, it might not. But my intuitive messages, I'm still learning to become more intuitive, so I don't trust them fully. I prefer to see them in the cards, but I thought it might be great to mention, and you'll take it if it resonates for you, right? So next up, we're taking a look at your connection. We're going to do that with these cards. I usually use these for love readings because it's all about the connection, what type of connection you have. But I think it is fitting to use them for human-animal connections as well. So I'm just curious to see what they think of your connection. So we have a meeting, like having the first time you meet someone. I think I'm gonna get another one. So you might have recently gotten this pet. This might be a new pet, or maybe you are seeing them again after a long time. Maybe that's why this is here, like you're quite new to each other. But I kind of want more information. I kind of want another one. If they're willing to give me another one, yeah. So we actually have 2 more. Let's just take them. So we have communication. So there might be something about learning to communicate with each other. There might be something about the way that you communicate. For example, like I said, with the guide dog, there are certain commands needing to learn what commands they listen to. But you are getting to know each other better. You're learning how to communicate better. And we also have ego. So maybe someone is a little bit prideful about how quick things are going, how great you're doing something. Again, with the dilettante as well, like being superficial in your pursuits, needing to be a perfectionist, like maybe being prideful in how fast this pet is responding to you, or taking pride in just something. So be mindful of your ego. Don't let your ego get involved. It's all about like having a genuine connection with your pet, not about how great they are, how amazing they look, Be mindful of your ego, I guess, is a message here. Might not be for everybody, but it did come out, so take that if it resonates. It might just be for a few of you. I also feel like your pet is going to help you get rid of the little bit of ego that you might still have. They might test you a little bit. Maybe they'll help you grow. But I could definitely see like this great, how do you say that? Not a friendship specifically, but like a mutual relationship, working together, a working relationship. Doesn't have to be working, but I do get for a big group of you that it is a dog that, or a pet that you are working with. Whether this is a horse that you're training, a dog that you're training, what else? There might be other pets that you can train as well. It doesn't have to be, but I do think for a lot of you, it is a pet that you might be working with. Of course, there could be cats in here as well that just you might think it's fun to teach them some tricks, and they can pick them up quite easily. Yeah. But let's see if there is anything you can do to improve your connection with them. So how can pile 3 connect with you deeper or more or better? Is there anything they can do? Thank you. So we have the Magician reversed. I think I'm going to get the guidebook for this one. I feel like there might be a message of like feeling like you can't do everything with them, or there is like a difficulty when it comes to training them or something like that. But like I said, I'm going to get the guidebook to be sure. It's one of the first cards in the deck, so that's great. Here we go. When reversed. So let's see. We have the Magician, we have uncertainty, manipulation, and trickery. So when reversed, the Magician represents doubts weighing heavily on your mind. You might be feeling less than your stellar self, or you're second-guessing your own abilities. These thoughts could put a damper on your drive, making you feel cynical about your future. Despite the heaviness you feel, you can still craft positive outcomes for yourself. But while you're under this dark cloud of doubt, be wary of seemingly trustworthy people who might try to manipulate you for their own gain. Keep a level head and allow yourself to move more slowly with those you're getting odd vibes from. The truth will eventually come to light. So when I'm reading this, it kind of makes me think of not just taking on anybody's opinions or other people's help. Like there is a need to trust your own intuition, to trust your own abilities. You might need to take things slow when it comes to this pet. They might act out every now and then if you are overtraining them. So don't force things along. Like don't try to go faster than they are capable of. Maybe that is a message here. Take that as it resonates, by the way. So let's move on to the next part. Maybe we'll get messages about these things later on as well, as we get our tea leaves. Most of the times they'll give some confirmation. So the next one I want to ask is if there is anything your pet regrets, if they have any regrets about what. So pet of pile 3, do you have any regrets about something? Is there anything you feel regretful of? There we go. So so my battery died. Let me do it like this. So the thing they feel regretful of, we have the 3 of Swords reversed, which indicates healing. It could indicate like having a wound that needs healing, or something that is being healed. So maybe they had an injury that they are still recuperating from, maybe needing time out to recuperate from something. Maybe that's what they regret. Like they just need more time to heal. It could also indicate that they hurt you and you need to heal from a certain wound. Or there might just be something like you went through heartbreak and you're still healing from that. Like that's what they feel bad about. It's not necessarily regret, because they might not be the reason why you're hurting. But they might be the reason that you're hurting. whether it is emotional, physical, anything like that. So take that one as it resonates. To me, it doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Like I said, if it is a physical wound or an emotional wound that they gave you, that would make sense. But I'm not trying to give meaning to these cards in your place. I feel like you very much will know what this situation is going to be about. Let's see if there is anything else. I think that's all I have to ask them when it comes to these things. Yeah. So, maybe we can ask them about what they want for the future with you. So, okay. So we have the Page of Cups reversed and we have the Emperor. So yes, I feel like this could be a very young animal that you are working with. The Page of Cups is usually a very young energy. Because it's reversed, it's very emotionally immature. So it could indicate that they would like to become a little bit more mature in general, like a little bit more emotionally mature, less playful, less teasing, less stubborn. But with the Emperor here, it looks like they will become whatever you want them to become. I feel like it's going to be an animal that just shows off a lot of strength, a lot of power. Again, this could definitely be an animal that is in a working animal. With the Emperor, we can see them being in control of themselves. So if there are any tricks you want to teach them, like they can handle that. They will also just have this sense of pride over them. They might become some kind of leader if this is one of multiple animals that you have, or you might have more animals later on. Like they could be the pack leader. Very interesting. So yeah, we can see them growing up beautifully and making a big impact. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. With the Emperor here, like maybe it could also indicate that you will be in control of them. Like they will listen to you, they will listen to your guidance, but you have to be a little bit stern with them. But the Emperor is a very healthy energy. So if there is any ego that came from you or from them, possibly mostly from you, like you have dealt with that later on, like it will be a non-issue anymore. Yeah, like I said, it will be like a good teamwork kind of situation. I'm having trouble finding the words for it, but you will be working together greatly. Maybe you will be the Empress to their Emperor. Like there is this great balance. Like they can do the physical things for you, and you will guide them. So again, this could be a horse or something like that. Or like I said, a dog, a working dog, like a dog that works with cattle, or a police dog, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. But that's just the major energy that I'm getting. I hope I'm making sense. It is a reading where I do get a lot of mixed signals, because I just think that there are a lot of different situations here. But let's... with the Emperor, by the way, this might be a male dog, or this might be a male animal. Let's move on to these tea leaves. Hopefully they can give me a little bit of a confirmation of what I'm talking about, because I don't know. I feel like I'm doubting myself. I don't know. And that's me just being really honest. So we have a broken ring with parting of the ways in either romance or business. So this might have been a dog that was in service that is not in service anymore. Or maybe you have gotten this animal after someone else parted ways with them. Maybe you are going through a divorce and that's something they want to acknowledge. Maybe you recently lost your job. That's something that they want to acknowledge. Take this one as it resonates. We also have a wheel with indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. So that might be the case. Like you might feel indecisive, or maybe your life is just moving, but you don't really try to steer it in any direction, and it's like you feel a little bit purposeless. And I think that this pet could actually help you find your purpose a little bit. We also have birth or conception of a child or enterprise. So yeah, they, like I said, we're getting a lot about business. So this might be a pet that you will be working with. Maybe you getting this pet will start your adventure when it comes to a company, or I could see this being like you have those places where you can go where you work with horses because they reflect your energy, and that's how you get to know your own energy. Like you could maybe start something like that, or I don't know, it could be anything. But we can see you starting something new. Like you might get a child. Maybe getting this pet is like getting a child. Maybe this is that new start, because we did talk about getting a new start. It could also indicate that you, instead of letting life ramble aimlessly, you decide to take control over your life and start something new. Maybe that's why these cards are here. Again, a lot of different possibilities. Again, this is not a personal reading, it's a group reading. If you want personal messages, you might want to get a personal reading. Use YouTube in capital letters 10 to get 10% off your personal reading if you are interested on my website. We also have Cracked Cup, dissatisfaction with life, which goes well with that wheel, like allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Like you're not satisfied with life. You don't really have a direction in life. And I do think that this pet is actually going to help you with that, finding your direction, giving you more joy in your life in general. We also have Peacock, be aware of great pride. And I think we already had your ego again. So there might be something of pride getting in your way. Maybe you being afraid of failure, like you're just not giving it a try because you're afraid to fail. Maybe this is your pet, like we had the Grand card. They might be a little bit of a proud animal, like they like to walk around and show off a little bit. Take that one as it resonates. But I definitely see that there might be a sense of, do I really want to do this? What if I fail? I'll look bad. Oh, and if you don't give up, you're not going to look bad. It's everything is a lesson, right? But let's see if there's anything else. So those fell, and I'm also going to get the one that fell on the floor. Give me a second. There we go. And these are the last tea leaves I'm going to take. Then we'll move on to the last oracle deck. So we have Boot with increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. So yes, you might need to increase your efforts. Like we said, you're not really giving it a good try. Maybe you're getting lost in, like we said with the dilettante, like you're very perfectionistic, and because you're not enjoying the process but focusing on the outcome, things are not working out for you, or you're deciding not to try anyway. And you might, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, you will achieve your goals, but you might need to put in more effort. You might need to learn to enjoy the process again, because I do think that this thing is something you actually enjoy, but you just kind of got lost out of sight of the things that are important when it comes to that. Maybe you were getting the boot. So again, there might be something about a divorce that this card is about, but take it as it resonates. We also have Beetle with good fortune, which indicates good fortune is coming to you. So things are getting better. Things are going to look up for you. Maybe you just felt really lucky to have this animal come into your life. Maybe there is something important about beetles, like a Volkswagen Beetle might be significant. A song from the Beatles might be significant. Again, take that as it resonates. And the last one we have is teardrops with great personal sorrow. So you might have been going through a lot of sorrow lately, the dissatisfaction with life, letting life ramble aimlessly, this divorce, like there might have been a lot going on recently. Like this is one of the great things that is coming into your life after a lot of heartbreak, like you're finally healing. That could definitely make a lot of sense when it comes to this. So that's all that I'm seeing here. You might have been crying a lot. Let's move on to the last part of this reading. Let's get some spirit animal cards. If there is any lost message your pet has for you. There we go. So pet of pile 3. Do you have any last messages for your owner or the person that cares a lot about you? So we have a wasp spirit with sometimes life stings. So yes, I do think that you might have been going through quite a rough patch lately. Maybe you're still going through a rough patch. And your pet kind of just wants to acknowledge that things have been rough, but they don't want you to give up. Sometimes it's rough, but things will get better with you putting in some effort and trusting that things will be okay. Okay, we have 2. I'm not going to get that one. So we have clear out the clutter. This quite literally just means that you might want to clean out your house, get rid of things that maybe remind you of any negativity. If there was a divorce, maybe just clear out your ex's stuff. If you lost your job, like getting rid of things that you just don't need anymore. Just clean up your house. Maybe just make your house a little bit of a pleasant place to be around. Just to get your mood a little bit lifted, because I do think that that might be something that you could enjoy. We also have the number 28 and the number 64. They both numerologically add up to a 10, which is the number 1, which indicates a fresh start. So you are definitely getting a fresh start, which is great. We also have the number 38, which adds up to an 11. So the number 1 twice. Again, more emphasis on this fresh start that you will be having. It also adds up to a number 2, the number of connection, friendship, anything like that. So it could indicate that you will also have a closer connection, a deep connection that you will have with this pet. Also, the message here with dream the world into being, like this is a clean slate. You can start building the life that you want now. Like, okay, this might suck. You're back at the beginning, but at the same time, you get to build your own life. You get to choose what you want. You get to choose what you want more of. You have all this space now to invite new people, to invite new experiences. It's time to become excited about all these possibilities that you'll have by leaving behind this old chapter, whatever this chapter was. I'm getting chills. Oh. So your pet really acknowledges that it hasn't been easy, but like don't give up hope, because good things are coming. You're moving into a way better place, really. Yeah. So that brings me to the end of your reading. Thank you for letting me read for you. If you enjoyed the reading, I'd love to get a thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought of it, if it resonated, anything like that. By the way, I am trying to make a living out of becoming a tarot reader. So any type of help would really be appreciated, but don't feel obliged to do anything. Like I said, if you'd like a personal reading, check out my website. Use the code YouTube10 for a discount, all capital letters. Or maybe just check out one of my other videos, watch the ads. Anything really helps. So thank you so much for watching. I hope it resonated, and I'll hope to see you in one of my next readings. Bye guys.